So, good morning, class. Our last chapter coverage for midterm is chapter 4, mutual funds and other investment companies. So, this is one of the most practical lessons in investment and portfolio management because it connects directly how ordinary people, mga ordinaryong tao, even with small amounts, wala silang masyadong pera, but they can start investing. So, by the end of this topic, gusto kong makita nyo na possible pala talaga na mag-invest kahit hindi ka milyonaryo. Basta, marunong ka sa tamang vehicle gaya ng mutual funds and ETFs. So, here is our goal for today. By the end of our discussion, you should be able to identify the types of investment companies, and then explain how mutual funds work, and then compute for net asset value or what we call NAV, understand the fees, and evaluate performance. So, hindi lang natin ito aaralin in theory, pero magko-compute din tayo later at may mga quick activities para mas ma-apply ninyo. Okay. Sa totoong buhay, hindi lahat ng investors gusto or kayang mag-trade ng stocks on their own. Kaya, karamihan, they go through investment companies or ito yung mga organizations na nag-i-invest on behalf of many individuals and parang team effort. They pool everyone's money and invest it as one big fund. So, examples ng ating mga investment companies ay yung mutual funds, ETFs, hedge funds, and unit investment trust or UITFs. Okay? And yung rates din natin. Later on, i-discuss natin yan. Okay. So, what are investment companies? So, investment companies act as financial intermediaries. Ibig sabihin, sila ang namamagitan sa investors at sa securities market. Pinag-iipon-ipon nila yung pera ng maraming tao, tapos they invest that pooled money into a diversified portfolio. So, ito yung mga main functions ng investment companies. Una, for record keeping and administration. So, sila ang bahala sa reports, sa dividends, and investments. Pangalawa is diversification. So, dahil nga pooled yung money, meaning pinagsama-sama lahat ng pera, makakabili ka ng iba't ibang types ng assets kahit maliit lang yung ambag mo. And pangatlo, another function nila is professional management. Meaning, meron silang mga analysts and managers na full-time na nagtatrabaho. And lastly, it has lower transaction costs. Kasi nga, bulk buying sila, yung mga investment companies, so mas mura yung trading costs. So, yun yung mga functions ng investment companies. Okay? Next, ito na yung net asset value or yung NAV natin na tinatawag. So, yung NAV na to, ito yung each share of fund has a price called net asset value or NAV. Ito yung price ng share, each share of a fund. Yun ang NAV. So, ito ang per share value ng fund at ginagamit natin para malaman kung magkano ang worth ng investment mo. So, napakasimple lang yung formula dito. Ang formula lang is market value of assets minus liabilities divided by shares outstanding. So, for example, if yung funds assets are 120 million and then meron siyang liabilities na 5 million pesos and there are 5 million shares. So, i-divide mo lang, yung ima-minus mo muna yung liabilities sa assets. So, that means 120 million minus your 5 million and then divided by the total number of shares which is 5 million shares. So, kung i-compute natin yan, 120 million minus 5 million, tapos yung difference doon, i-divide mo by 5 million. So, ang NAV natin, or the net asset value, is 23 pesos per share. Okay? So, ganun lang kadali yung formula kung gusto nating malaman yung NAV or yung per share value ng ating stocks. Okay? So, this is supposed to be a since we are not going to meet up for like a class discussion, like a face-to-face discussion, so dito na lang sa ating online class. So, if you have a calculator there, buksan ng inyong calculator at i-try ninyong i-compute ito. Okay? Para ma-practice natin yung pag-compute ng net asset value. So, dito yung given is 500 million. Kung ang isang company meron siyang 500 million and then may liabilities na 20 million, tapos nag-release sila ng 10 million number of shares. Ilan ang kanyang net asset value? So, kung i-compute natin yan, 500 million minus 20 million divided by 10 million. So, ang correct answer dyan should be 48 pesos per share. Okay? So, ganyan lang kasimple ang NAV computation or the net asset value computation. So, tandaan nyo, ito ang presyo per share ng ating fund. Okay? That's the NAV. Next, we discuss the types of investment companies. So, now let's classify them. May tatlong main types tayo ng investment companies. Ito yung unit investment trusts or yung tinatawag nating UITs. Kung i-classify natin siya, fix ang kanyang portfolio. Hindi nagbabago-bago. And then we have the closed-end funds. Closed-end funds, limited number of shares lang ang tinitrade dito, gaya ng stocks. And then for our open-end funds, yung open-end funds natin, yan din yung tinatawag natin na mutual funds. So they are continuously selling and redeeming shares based on the net asset value. So ito yung mga types of investment companies. And then we also have the managed investment companies, aside from the three classifications. Okay? And then, we discuss now the unit investment trust. So, yung UITs, they are unmanaged funds. Meaning, hindi siya minimanage. Once na na-establish siya, fix na yung laman ng portfolio na yon. So, usually, yung mga bangko yung nag-o-offer ng ganitong klaseng type ng investment. Example dyan is yung mga BDO UITs or UITF, yung BPI UITF, meron din yan sila. Ano ba ang advantage ng UITF kapag mag-invest ka sa ganitong klaseng fund? So, ang advantage is, of course, mas mababa yung fees niya. It has lower fees kasi nga walang active management. Walang mga taong nagpapatakbo or what. Kasi fixed na siya yung portfolio niya. Ang disadvantage lang is wala siyang flexibility. Hindi niya pwedeng baguhin ang investment or hindi pwedeng baguhin yung investment. Kasi na-create na siya. So, fixed na siyang ganun. Yun ang kanyang characteristic. Okay? So, ulitin ko, ito yung mga characteristics ng UITs or ating Unit Investment Trust. It is a fixed portfolio, unmanaged siya. Wala siyang active training. Mababa yung management fees niya. And investors usually buy units. And it can also redeem units at net asset value. Okay? Next is the managed investment companies. So, yung mga managed investment companies natin, we have two types. The open-end funds and the closed-end funds. So, these are the actively managed. Yung kanina, yung UITF, hindi siya minamanage, di ba? Unmanaged siya. Wala siyang active management. So, under this type of managed investment companies, we have two. The open-end funds or what we call the mutual funds and the closed-end funds. So, sa open-end funds, you buy stocks and you redeem directly from the fund company. I'm sorry, not stocks. You buy funds and then redeem directly from the company. And then we have the closed-end funds. Sa closed-end funds naman, they have fixed number of shares and traded siya sa stock market. So, tinitrade din siya sa stock market. Okay. So, class, tandaan nyo ha, and in open-end funds, you buy directly from the fund company. Meaning, yung price niya is equivalent doon sa net asset value. Sa closed-end funds naman, you buy from other investors through the stock market. So, yung price niya is dependent doon sa demand and supply. Meaning, pwedeng mas mahal or mas mura siya doon sa NAV or the net asset value. Ang tawag kapag mas mababa ang price kaysa sa NAV ay discount. Kapag mas mataas naman, ang tawag doon is premium. So, yun yung sa closed-end funds. Okay? Tignan yung mabuti dyan, yung differences ng dalawang klaseng investment companies. We have the open-end or the mutual fund and the closed-end funds. Okay? Next is exchange-traded funds or what we call the ETFs. So, ang ETFs are like a mix of mutual fund and stock. So, mix siya. Combination siya ng mutual fund and ng stock. So, they trade like regular stocks. Tinitrade siya, parang regular stocks lang. You can buy and sell anytime within the day. But most ETFs follow an index. Gaya nung nalala nyo sa index, like yung S&P 500 or PSEI. May index sila na fina-follow. Ang advantages naman ng ETFs is lower cost siya, meaning mababa lang yung babayaran doon, madali siyang i-trade, and mataas yung liquidity. In short, parang instant diversification siya. Ganon ang exchange-traded funds or the ETFs. Okay? Next is other investment organizations. Ano naman yung iba-ibang examples ng investment organizations? So, meron tayong tinatawag na commingled funds. So, parang pooled funds siya ng banks and insurance firms. Bangko and insurance firms lang. Commingled funds. Pag rates naman, ang rates ay, ibig sabihin ng rates is real estate investment trusts. So, pag bumili ka ng rates, nag-i-invest ka sa mga real estate projects. Like mga buildings, mga condominiums, mga malls. So, very low risk lang yung rates. I remember when I was trading at COL Financial, nakikita ko yung mga rates na na ino-offer doon, binibenta, but then hindi pa ako nakaka-try mag-invest sa rates. Medyo consistent yung kanyang dividends, but then hindi siya ganun kataas yung tawag dito. Hindi siya ganun ka-risky. So medyo mas mababa yung return niya compared sa stocks mismo. Okay? And then lastly, we have the hedge funds. So ang hedge funds mas mas mataas yung risk niya, mas mataas yung returns niya. So high risk, high return funds siya for rich investors or institutions. Meaning para lang to sa mga mayayaman kasi medyo mataas yung requirement dito na capital. So class, kung gusto mong mag-invest in real estate without buying property talaga. Hindi ka like, 'di ba, bumili ka ng bahay, ng house and lot, real estate lang 'yon. Pero kung gusto mong bumili ng real estate pero walang property, na without buying the actual property talaga, pwede ka doon sa rates. Okay? Pwede mong bilhin 'yon. Next, okay. Now we move to the star of this chapter. Ito talaga yung pinaka core ng chapter na to, which is mutual funds. Ito ang pinaka kilalang investment company. It's an open-end fund managed by professionals. So each mutual fund follows a specific policy, nakalagay yan sa prospectus nila. For example, some funds focus on stocks, like equity funds, and yung iba namang ibang mga funds naman, they focus on bonds, or yung iba naman, they focus on both stocks and funds. Okay? So yan yung mutual funds overview natin. So, ano ba yung iba't ibang klase ng mutual funds? We have, how many? 1, 2, 3. We have 6. So, the first type is the money market funds. So, sa money market funds, usually short-term ito, and they have lower risk compared to other mutual funds. Lower risk siya gaya ng treasury bills. Okay? Next is equity funds. Sa equity funds naman, nakafocus lang siya sa stocks. So, mas higher yung risk nito and mas higher din ang return compared sa money market. And then we have bond funds. So, sa bond funds naman, you invest in the government or you invest in corporate bonds. Kasi di ba ang government nag-issue din sila ng bonds. And then, same with corporate. They also have bonds. So, yun yung mga bond funds. Number 4 is we have the balanced funds. So, pag sinabi nating balance, it's a mix of stocks and bonds. Okay? Yun lang. Combination siya ng equity and bond fund. That's why it's called balanced funds. And number 5 is we have the index funds. Pag sinabi nating index funds, nagpa-follow sila ng stock index and passive lang siya. Okay? And lastly, international or sector funds. So, naka-focus lang siya on certain countries or industries. Yun yung international fund. So, kung gusto mo ng steady lang, you go for money market or bond fund. Kasi steady lang siya, diba? Very hindi siya ganun ka-risky. Pero kung growth talaga yung hanap mo, you can invest in equity or index fund. Yun yung mga best options mo to put your money. Okay? So here we have another activity. So let's have like a quick check lang. Just match the description. Number one here is invest in T-bills. Match the description, which fund type. So, yung kanina, yung mga fund type, ano nga yun? We have money market, equity bond, balance index, and international. So, pag sinabi nating invest in short term, like T-bills, and mas safe siya, saan ka mag-i-invest? Sa market fund. Pag gusto mo naman na nakafocus ka lang sa real estate, you buy what? You buy rate. Pwede kang mag-invest sa real estate without buying the property itself. Just invest in rates. Okay? And number 3, combine stocks and bonds. Pag combination, anong tawag doon? Combination ng stocks and bonds, ang tawag doon ay balance funds. Okay? And lastly is tracks a stock index. Pag nagfo-follow naman siya ng stock index, ang tawag doon ay index fund. Okay? So, madali lang, diba? Always match your risk appetite. So, kailangan, yun yung tandaan nyo. Kung ano yung risk appetite nyo, dapat ima-match nyo yun sa kung anong klaseng fund type yung gusto nyong i-investan. Okay? Next, we have cost of investing. So, magkano ba ang bayad pag mag-invest ka? So, pag-uusapan natin ngayon yung gastos kapag mag-invest ka. So, there are 4 main costs pag nag-invest. We have the operating expenses, the front-end load, back-end load, and we have the 12B1 fees. So, pag sinabi nating operating expenses, ito yung bayad sa management at sa administration doon sa mga tao na nagmamanage ng funds. So, usually, nasa 0.2% to 1.5% yung kinakaltas doon sa pera mo para dito sa operating expenses. And then we also have what we call front-end load. So, this is the sales charge kapag bumili ka ng shares. So, may sales fee pa, parang ganun. And then we have the back-end load. Pag back-end load naman is exit fee kapag nagbenta ka. So, pag bumili ka ng shares, tapos you decided na ibenta siya. So, pag ibibenta mo na siya, merong exit fee na binabayaran. So, yon. Meaning, may kaltas pa siya ng konti. And then, the last one is the 12B1 fees. So, ang 12B1 fees, this is for the marketing or distribution charges. Meron din yon, parang marketing fee. So, hindi siya, kaya hindi automatic na kung mataas yung kita ng fund, mataas din yung sayo. Kasi, these fees, yung 4 na to, these fees are deducted from your returns. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina. May operating fees, and then pag bumili ka, may sales charge pa yan. And then pag ibenta mo naman, meron siyang exit fee pa. And the marketing charges. Okay? Next, we have an example here. So, example, you have a 1,000 pesos investment and meron siyang 6% load, meaning, meron kang 60 pesos na fee na babayaran. So, yung actual investment mo dyan is 940 pesos lang. Diba, nag-invest ka ng 1,000, pero kakaltasan yan ng expenses, yung cost doon ng investment, which is 6% load. So, ang may iwan sa'yo talaga, yung actual investment mo lang is 940 pesos. So, I remember na example ko sa inyo dati yung GCash. I tried investing in cryptocurrency sa GCash. And sobrang taas ng kanyang tawag dito, fees. Mataas 'yon. So kaya hindi na ako nag-invest ulit. Okay? Okay. Now, let's discuss return on mutual fund. So, para masukat yung performance, we use this formula, the rate of return. So, paano natin siya i-compute? You deduct NAV1 minus NAV0 plus income plus capital gains divided by your NAV0. So, ito yung kabuuang kita mo, including dividends and capital gains, expressed as a percentage. So, we have an example here. So, for example, you have your first NAV is 20 pesos, and then you have the second NAV, which is 21 pesos. You have an income of 0.50, and you have gains of 0.20 pesos. So, kung gagamitin natin yung formula, your rate of return there should be 8.5%. So, if you invested 10,000 pesos, for example, kumita ka ng 850 that period. Sa period na lang yon kasi nga, there's a 8.5% rate of return. So, simple lang siya, simple computation, pero very powerful. So, ganun lang kasimple i-compute yung rate of return. Okay? Next is, we have the taxes and turnover. So, ang mutual funds, meron siyang pass-through status. Ibig sabihin, hindi ang fund ang nagbabayad ng tax, kundi ang investors. Pero kapag madalas mag-trade ang fund, mataas din ang turnover rate, which means mas maraming taxable events and transaction cost. Kaya, mas efficient ang index funds, doon ka mag-invest sa index funds kasi nga, low lang yung turnover rate niya. Okay? So, yun yung discussion natin sa taxes and turnover. Now, i-compare natin yung ETFs and mutual funds. So, quick comparison lang to. Pag ETFs, nagtitrade yan all day, and lower lang yung fees niya and mas flexible kumpara sa mutual funds. Pag mutual funds naman, once a day lang yung trading. And then, may professional manager na nagmamanage. So, kung gusto mo ng passive lang, you go for ETF. Kung gusto mo ng may expert talaga na may nagmamanage ng pera mo, you go for the mutual fund. Usually, ang nag-i-invest sa mutual fund ay yung mga investors na they have a lower risk appetite or yung mga ayaw masyadong mag-take risk. Kasi dito, sure na may balik talaga. Okay? Next is mutual fund performance. So, according to research, few active managers outperform the market. In fact, most mutual funds perform lower than index funds dahil nga doon sa fees. Mataas yung fees and cost na binabayaran. So, minsan, mas wise na mag-invest ka sa passive investing. Kasi steady lang yung growth niya at lower cost. Okay? For the sources of fund information naman, if you want to research, bago ka mag-invest, syempre kailangan mong mag-research, di ba? So, kung gusto mong mag-invest, research ka muna. And ito yung mga kailangan mong i-check. Number 1 is prospectus. This is the official document with all details of that company. And then, number 2, yung annual reports. Kailangan i-check mo din yan. So, sa annual reports, makikita mo dyan yung summary ng performance ng fund na yon. And then, we have the Morningstar report. So, sa Morningstar, website yan, morningstar.com. So, makikita nyo dyan yung fund ratings and comparison ng mga funds na available. Mga investment companies. And then, other than that, we have the Yahoo Finance or other investment Company Institute. Makikita nyo doon yung mga quick data and graphs. Sa internet, madami pa yung mga websites na pwede nyong i-check to compare the funds and also the ratings. Kung ano yung tawag dito, mas magandang fund na investan. Okay? For your quick quiz, I think ito pwede nyong sagutan na lang dyan sa inyong bahay or sa inyong boarding house kung ano ba yung meaning ng NAV or net asset value. And then, ano yung difference? Pag sinabi nating difference between open-end and closed-end, ano ba yung difference nilang dalawa? So, pwede nyo sabihin dyan na ang open-end, syempre, redeemable siya anytime, while the closed-end trades on the market. Then, pag sinabi nating 12B1 fee, anong ibig sabihin nun? In short, marketing fee, diba? Marketing and distribution charges yan. And then, we have number 4, question is, why are index funds popular? Bakit mas popular yung index funds? Kasi, mas mababa yung cost niya and consistent yung performance. Okay? So, those are the quizzes. Now, to summarize our discussion, investment companies pool the money of many investors to achieve diversification and professional management. So, popular yung mutual funds. And before you invest, always check the fees, the objectives, and risk before ka mag-invest. And remember, eto tatandaan nyo, investing is not about timing the market, but time in the market. Hindi yung tatimingan mo yung market, but it's the time in the market. Okay? So, that's it.